We will continue picking up our reading of Around the World in 80 Days. This is our section 2, starting with page 8 through page 20. That evening he was joined by his usual partners for cards. They were all rich and well known, even in the club for only the princes of English money. It included Gauthier Ralph, one of the directors of the Bank of England. Well, Ralph, how about that robbery? We'll catch him. I have detectives watching every port. But do they know what to look for? The Daily Telegraph says he's a gentleman. The robbery was the talk of the town. A package of notes worth £55,000 had been taken from the Bank of England. The daring thief had simply picked them up from a table and walked off. The card game began. Between hands, talk of robbery started up again. I say that the chances are in the robber's favor. The world is a big place. It was once. Cut the cards, sir. Well, now, just because you can go around the world in 3 months, correction, in 80 days. That is true, as the Daily Telegraph says, now that the Great Indian Railroad is open. But what of bad weather, train wrecks and such? It's still 80 days. I'd bet that can't be done. Very well, I have £20,000 at Barings, which I will bet. You're joking. £20,000, which be lost by a single delay. A true Englishman does not joke about a bet. I will bet I can circle the world in 80 days or less. Do you accept? After talking together, his partners answered, We accept. Good. The train leaves for Dover at 8:45. I will take it. The group offered to stop the game so Mr. Fogg could get ready to leave. I am ready enough now, thank you. Let's finish the game, gentlemen. And so 20 minutes later, after having won 20 guineas at cards, Mr. Fogg left the Reform Club to travel around the world. Monsieur, you are not due back here until midnight. I know, but we are going around the world. I must find my passport. Get a suitcase with 2 shirts and 3 pairs of socks for me and the same for you. Hurry up. Take good care of this bag. There are £20,000 in it. They got to the station at 8:20, and Phileas Fogg reached for the 20 guineas he had just won at cards. Here, my good woman, I'm glad I met you. Well, gentlemen, I'll see you at 8:45 on Saturday, the 21st of December. Then Phileas Fogg and his servant boarded the train. Moments later, it glided from the station. 6 days later, the 2 men waited at the Suez Canal for the ship Magnolia. It had come from India and was on its way. It had come from Italy and was on its way to India. But really, Detective Fix, I don't know how you'll know the robber even if he is on board. I have a feeling about these things, Consul. If he's on board, he won't slip through my fingers. When the boat arrived, Fix stood where he could see all the passengers. Soon. I need to have this checked. Can you show me to the consul? Fix was surprised. The wording on the man's passport was the same as that sent to him by Scotland Yard for the bank robber. Is this your passport? No, it's my master's. He must go in person to the consul. Very well, I will go get him. I must keep him here until I get a warrant from London. I hope you will not let him go. Ah, that's your problem. If it's a good passport, I have no right to refuse. But as he spoke, a knock was heard at the door. Very good, sir, but you do not need my stamp to go to India. I know, but I wish to prove that I came by way of the Suez Canal. I'll agree that he looks right, but I'll make sure of it. Well, my friend, having a good trip? Yes, but travel's so fast it seems more like a dream. Are you in a hurry, then? My master is. By the way, I must buy some clothes. We came away without much. Come, I'll show you a good shop, but tell me where you are going. He says you're going around the world on a bet. So your Mr. Fogg is a strange man, is he? I should say so. Is he rich? Oh, yes, he has a lot of new banknotes with him. These answers make the excited detective even more so. Fogg had left England with a large sum of cash soon after the robbery. His story about traveling on a bet could never be true. I agree that you have a good cause against this man, but what can you do? I'll wire for London for a warrant of arrest to be sent to India. Then I'll go aboard the Magnolia, follow the man there, and arrest him. So after a quick visit to the telegraph office, Fix went aboard the Magnolia and was soon sailing on the waters of the Red Sea. They sailed past the great cities of the Red Sea, but Phileas Fogg seldom went on the deck to see them. True to his habits, he ate grand meals and played cards constantly. He had found partners as eager as himself to start a good game. Ah, my friend from Suez. Yes, good to see you again. Where are you traveling? Like you, to India. I'm an agent of the ship company. After this meeting, Passepartout got in the habit of talking with Fix, who often bought him a drink at the bar. This made Passepartout think Fix must be a good fellow indeed. With good weather and all sails aiding the engine, the Magnolia arrived in India 2 days early. Until that time, India could only be crossed on foot or horseback, but with the new railroads, a crossing of 3 days was planned. They docked at 4:30 p.m. At exactly 8 p.m., the train was to leave for Calcutta. Fix was disappointed to find that the warrant had not arrived. He could still not arrest Fogg. Meanwhile, Passepartout, having bought the shoes and shirts they needed, took a walk through the streets. But he walked further than he had meant to go. No one but Indians could enter certain temples, and when they did, they had to take off their shoes. Their priests quickly gathered Passepartout's and tore off his shoes when he arrived to go inside. But the Frenchman got away, reaching the station just in time. He told his story in a few words. I hope that I will not happen again. With this news, Fix was ready to follow them, got a new idea. On board, Fogg and Passepartout met Sir Francis Camaraderie, one of Fogg's card partners from Magnolia. Sir Francis could not help thinking that this strange gentleman who had traveled the world on a bet would leave it without doing any real good. As they slept, the train passed cotton, coffee, nutmeg, clove, pepper plantation. Its steam curled in circles around beautiful temples. When they stopped for breakfast, Passepartout was able to buy some Indian slippers, with which he wore with great delight. For 2 days they went whirling across India at full speed. But then, passengers will get out here. But the paper said the railroad was completed. The papers were wrong. There are still 50 miles to go. Sir Francis will look about for some other way to reach our goal. An elephant was found. When its greedy owner refused to rent his elephant, Mr. Fogg offered to buy it for £1,000.